So I suppose I should think about what purpose am I like giving these walks, establishing basically grounding because I've noticed that much of the time that I've spent with these astral projections, what they've been doing is trying to like get me to focus on a part of myself. Thus, then I could run from it. So basically, they get me to imagine the worst side of myself. And once I've done it, they cause the reaction or flinch effect. And once that's caused, well, since it's running through the nervous system, it feels automated. So essentially, the mind or the body is fooled into this pretense of circumstances. And so, right now, like that's really all I'm noticing, It's like God has me walking out here for a reason, God wouldn't just send me out for no reason. So the actuality of it is, He wants me grounded, He wants me essentially using the force inside of me, But see, there's this game that I'm playing with the masculine and the feminine energy, though. So the masculine thinks that if I use the strength, they're trying to blow it up, like make it all, you can't even fathom, So, and essentially grounding is strength, So, I mean, they're not wrong, but they're not necessarily right either, Because, I mean, I've been 5-6 years already floating. That's why society got so comfortable. That's why they got so, that's why they're so, that's why I felt so gravitational, And so, essentially, it's just been grounding. You guys hear it in my sound, in my tone, in my rhythm, in my breathing. That's called grounding. When you're grounded, everything runs just right. But essentially, the astral projection's job is to attack your spine. So that's one thing you got to be focused on is your spine, because that's all the astral projection's after. Distorting your center. At least when you're not using your presence. Your presence is like your strength, So when you use your gravity, that means you tighten your core. That's when they feel afraid, because they know that they no longer have any control. What they have done, though, is condition the masculine energy to become responsive and reactive. So essentially, like for a while there, my body was being attacked while I used my strength, so that initially it would become a trigger rather than a mechanism that I understand the operation of, So that's where I'm at right now.